Hi, my name is Noah, and I'm 17. Here's my story. I was in 8th grade and took the bus to and from school every day. It was a warm and sunny Friday afternoon. Since my school was pretty far from my house, our bus ride took about 30 minutes. As usual, I sat all the way in the back of the bus with my 4 friends: Josh, Caleb, Jackson, and Alex. We were super loud and energetic on the way home after being cooped up in classes all day. Everyone was especially hyped up because we had a long 4-day weekend to look forward to. To keep ourselves occupied on the long trip home, we played our favorite game of hitting cars with crumpled papers we threw out of the bus window. This game had been passed down from other students before us. We all pitched in $1 into a pot, and the kid with the most points kept all the money. Sometimes we would have almost $10 up for grabs. Hitting a truck was worth 1 point, and a car was 2 points. Yellow cars and Volkswagen Beetles were worth an extra point. Don't ask me why though, as these rules were handed down from kids before us. We all had 3 attempts to get the most points possible. I had lost the last 3 games before, and I needed some cash for the weekend so my girlfriend and I could go out to dinner. We were approaching the best place to target cars and rack up the most points on our bus route, the downtown area. Our bus would drive slowly along the congested streets where there were plenty of parked cars on the side of the road. We were 5 minutes from my bus stop and I needed some real points quick. I only got 1 point on my first 2 tries and had 1 shot left. I was the last turn to go in the game and my friend Jackson was in the lead with 3 points. I was desperately scanning a row of parked cars from the window and there it was in the distance, a yellow Corvette. A solid 3 points and the win, if I landed my shot. I quickly grabbed my crumpled piece of paper and took aim. As soon as the paper left my hand and was traveling in mid-air, I noticed the owner of the car walking to the driver's side door. He was a big dude with lots of tattoos. Uh-oh. The paper bounced off of the top of the car. Boom, 3 points. I jumped up triumphantly and grabbed my money. I sat back down with a huge grin on my face. Suddenly, we saw the yellow car from the back window flashing its lights and beeping its horn behind us. My joy immediately turned into dread. My friends were laughing and pointing at the guy. They thought it was funny. Their laughter changed when the maniac passed our bus and got in front. He kept hitting the brakes and was waving his hand for us to pull over. Our bus driver looked noticeably worried and slammed on the brakes, making us lunge forward several times. Finally, he stopped in the middle of the road, blocking our path. My heart was beating out of my chest as the bus came to a stop. He got out of his car and stood at the front of the bus yelling and screaming that we damaged his car. Our driver told him to go away and that she would call the police. That only made him madder and he demanded to be let on the bus. He made his way to the bus door and tried to kick it in. You could hear the thud from his feet kicking the door. At this point, all the kids started to panic and began screaming. I swear I almost crapped my pants. Our driver was trying to hold the doors shut as he continued to kick them. She had her phone also trying to call the police at the same time. A few of the students began calling 911 too. My friends and I decided that we would escape out of the emergency door in the back of the bus if he came aboard. Caleb had the escape latch in his hand ready to open if needed, and we'd be out. By this time, a few cars had stopped behind us, and the drivers got out and started yelling at him. One guy started approaching him, and our attacker got in his car, not before saying, "I'm going to find out where you kids live and pay you a visit." He peeled out and disappeared into the distance. A few of the girls on our bus were crying, and everyone was just looking at each other in disbelief. 2 police cars arrived a few minutes later, and we all felt a bit safer. The officers came on our bus and started to talk to us all individually to get statements. We admitted to throwing the paper at the car and said we were sorry. Because of the damage to our bus, we had to wait for a new bus before getting dropped off at home. I remember looking at the wadded money in my hand as I pulled up to my house and thinking it sure wasn't worth it. I almost needed that money to buy new underwear. Anyway, That crazy guy ended up getting arrested later that day. The police had his license plate number and they found him at his house. Supposedly, I found out from a friend whose dad was a cop that the guy was begging the cops not to arrest him and was crying as he was put into the back of the police car. I don't know what happened to him, but I can tell you we never played that game again. Want to send us your story and go down in Storymation Nation history? Please click on the link in the description. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and smash that like button if you enjoyed the story.